Hello everyone, welcome to Sriram's IAS. Yeah, myself Shivashankari, alias Shiva Ignatius. So today we are going to discuss about the NCERTs which are useful for environment. Okay, so first let me try to open this document. There's some problem, I think. Yes, the one which we have to discuss first. Okay, so I am opening that. So before entering into this session, what is the session about? As we all know, NCERTs are very basic books which we have to read and which will be very helpful for clearing prelims and also for supporting mains. Okay, so what are those concepts which we have to read in our NCERT, and what are those terms which we have to take care of? That way only this program has been designed. It's not related to NCERT notes. If it is so, that we would have been compiled into one and we would have segregated by topic wise. But this is just making you know that how you have to read the NCERTs with the, and what are the terms which you have to look into, and what are the key concepts which you have to focus. So this is not basically targeting on those students, like who has started the preparation. It's for everyone, because even though we have started the preparation for our UPSC, we would have not read these books related to NCERTs. So now you can do these sessions in between. See, most of all, there is saying that NCERTs and all, it's outdated, it's old, so questions are not coming from NCERTs. No such things. NCERTs always helps you, always supports you, like for your UPSC preparations, right? So you will not, you will go in a path, you will not deviate from it. While you're reading NCERTs, you can collect the basic ideas related to particular topic. That's why we have kept this session, right? And when I'm reading a particular concept for you, and then I'll tell you how and all the questions can appear from this particular term. They are not directly lifting questions from NCERTs, but related to that, connecting that concept, questions are appearing. Sometimes even directly they are taking statements from NCERTs and then giving in the choices, right, for pre. And for mains, this content which is here will help you to support your answers. So that's how I have made a series starting from 7th standard itself. So first take the 7th NCERT. You may think that, Madam, 7th NCERT, 8th, 9th, and all are consisting of those ideas and those concepts which we are going to see in the higher classes. Like 11th and the 12th also is carrying, 12th biology book is also having the same concepts only. Why we have to do from the 7th standard? In order to not even leave a single term, we are just doing it from the very basic level. Okay, so everything is important with related to respective to the NCERT. So we cannot say that, oh, I have not seen this in anywhere, so from where they have taken this question. No such things should come or appear when you are appearing for your exams for that purpose. So that is why I am not splitting into topic wise. I am going from subject wise, that is standard wise. Okay, I'm starting from 7th standard, then 8th, 9th. So mostly what we are going to do, the first section, the first segment, maybe the first 3 days we will be covering, our first 2.5 days we will be covering those topics, like the basic components of environment, then the vegetations, natural vegetation and biodiversity, conservation of biodiversity, ecosystems, and basic concepts way we will be doing the topics. Okay, then we will move to the higher versions, that is the next segment, that is the climate change and the pollution and the other environmental issues. This way we will segregate into two sections only. The first section will comprise of everything except the environmental issues. This way we will put. Okay, so even though if some in some books, if it is coming, you can just read it out, we can just read it out, but elaborately we'll be discussing in the second segment. Okay, now we'll start the first book, the 7th standard book, for geography, our environment. The book name is Our Environment. I hope all of you would have, we will be having this book. So we'll begin with this book, basic. In that only 2 chapters is necessary. the first chapter and the sixth chapter. That only we will be seeing. And what are those topics which is necessary? Now we will see. See. So when you take this book like this, you'll be seeing in the small boxes. You need not avoid it or neglect it. You may think it is silly to read all these things, but then you read it. So it starts like this. As you can see, they are starting from the basic call environment. So you have to read this in this book. You will be starting with this concept only. So the environment is something which it surrounds. So it includes everything. Like this, it starts, right? So we will first define the environment here, right? And we land where we live. Everything is our environment. That is, the environment provides everything to us. So it's a system which surrounds us. That way it is saying. And then you can come to this particular diagram. Okay, here this is important, that is components of environment. So this is a first unit. When you are studying an environment, you should know what all is there in your environment. I already told whatever things which surrounds the particular organism is its environment. So now they have given this in the diagrammatic format. As you can see, this is a very big advantage of studying the basic books from 7th 8th 9th and all. You'll have this beautiful diagrams. So the natural component as well as the human made, and generally we will consider these two. If you go to the higher versions, they will be talking about natural component and human made component, but they are also considering human component also as a part of component of environment only. So generally natural environment means, here we are stopping in the basic level itself. We are saying it includes the biosphere, it includes the lithosphere, and it includes the atmosphere and hydrosphere. These are the natural components. So you need not stop there. You know, even though in the higher versions, in the later standards, the 11th, 12th standard, there is a bit elaboration about these natural component. When you're studying or seeing a particular term in the NCERT, how to read an NCERT, instead of simply reading, this much only, throw away. Next book, this much only, throw it away. No, no, don't do that. So doing it wrongly, it means you're doing it wrongly. How you have to do it? When you're seeing a term, stop there. You have Google with you, okay? So you can just type that particular term and see what it is, how it is related. Is there any questions which has come from UPSC from this particular term? This you have to keep in mind. So same way, if you see, mostly in geography you will be studying all these things. Since we cannot segregate geography completely from environment, we also will be seeing on certain concepts of geography into our environment. So there is some questions which is appearing previously also related to the lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere, biosphere directly. Especially this atmosphere is important. So you would definitely read in geography the layers of atmosphere. You see this atmosphere, you have to know about it a bit. So when you are studying that, you're starting from troposphere, stratosphere, you know, a mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere, there is a 5 layers. You can just have a small beautiful diagram near your NCERT book like this. For your own reference, you can draw and keep. Okay. Then when you're revising, it will be easy for you. Or you can make notes. You can take a note, then take notes accordingly with the NCERTs. Right. So here, like it starts from tropo. Then it goes to, see why I am writing this, even not only in geography, in environment also it is important, especially the troposphere and stratosphere is very, very important, these two layers. Then comes meso, then comes thermo, okay, meso, thermo and exosphere. Mesosphere, not meso. Mesosphere, I'm writing shortly. Thermosphere and exosphere. Okay. So here, if you consider these two layers, why? They are very important with related to pollution and weather event. Okay. If I'm saying only weather event, then I can consider only troposphere. But if I'm saying pollution, then I have to take the stratosphere into account. So troposphere you have to know. Generally, you should know what and all is atmosphere. So when you're writing atmosphere, you can write a formula like this in the NCERT itself. Atmosphere is equal to all the gases which are present plus water vapor, okay, plus the aerosol particles. Those are important only. You have to make elaborate notes like this nearby. Huh? So when frequently questions are coming, you can make a note. So this is something called as atmosphere. That means gases. Gases, what are the gases which are present? Then you can put a small bracket, set bracket and say 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen. This makes around 99% percentage, and 1% is occupied by trace gases. The trace gases are very important with related to environment. Why? Because they are responsible for all the issues which is happening in our environment. So this nearby the gases you'll be writing like this: 75% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, and remaining 1% is of trace. And this includes carbon dioxide, argon, neon, dot 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 dot. Around 9-10 gases are there like that. Then water vapor. Water vapor is also very important. They are also important greenhouse gas only, we can say. It's not a gas, but it's an important greenhouse element which is reflecting the sunlight. So water vapor is also present in the atmosphere. And aerosols are liquid or solid particles which are floating. This way you have to make a notes. So this I am not going to teach the NCERT. I am going to make you know how you have to study in NCERT and how you have to make extra notes for the questions which has to come from NCERT, which is relying on the NCERT. Most of all, if you see the question pattern is more or less dependent on NCERTs. Okay, so the aerosols you have to write a few words like that. The pollen, dust grain, all these are considered as aerosols only, floating particles, liquid or it can be a solid. So this way it's called atmosphere. Then if you come to this particular layer called troposphere, almost 90% of the gases and 99% of water vapor is present in this troposphere. That is why all the weather events is happening in the troposphere. The cloud formation, precipitation, everything is happening in the troposphere. But when you go to the stratosphere, there is one major thing which is there in the stratosphere called as ozone. We call this a stratospheric ozone or the ozone layer, which is existing from 15 to 30 kilometers. That also occupies a very important topic for environment. So you should know what is the purpose of ozone. Ozone is there, which is acting as a filtering agent, which is like a sunscreen which we are applying on face no before going into sunlight. That's a natural sunscreen which earth has given us. So this way you have to make notes. Then related to meso, thermo, exo and all, it's not much important. I am telling because I have read all the question paper for the 20 to 25 years. The question papers I am keeping in my mind. That's how I am saying that how the questions are appearing, which are important for you. Then this and all, the hydrosphere, litho, bio, that we will later take on, not here. Okay, so this way, hydro means all the water components, including the snow, the cryosphere, okay, all will be there. Lithosphere means all the land related, soil, everything is included in litho. Bio means when all the three interact, there is one region, no, when all three come into contact, their life will exist. So that is called biosphere. So this way you have to know the meaning of term. I hope there will be a meaning here down. Yes, it's here, it is given. Okay, so we'll go to that now. So I hope you have seen this diagram. Right now we'll go into that and see this man-made. Man-made means what are the things which are made by man, which is created by man. Okay, so that's why they have given some examples. And human means it can be individual, it can be a community, it can be a group, it can be a nation, it goes on. So that's why they are given as human environment. So this environment already we saw a box, a definition inside a box. Why these terms are terminology are important with respect to environment almost 3 times for the last 10 years itself. They have given a term and they have given a description about the term in your exams. Okay, they have given 4 statements. The proper stage fits that word. You have to pick it up for your preliminary examination. So with respect to that, you have to read. Even if it is an environment, read once. There is nothing wrong. So then you can see that all that which surrounds us is called environment. So it is a combination of both natural and human-made phenomena. It can be a natural or it can be a man-made. So that, and it can be both biotic and abiotic. That means biotic means what they have given here. The world of living organisms is called biotic. So this way small words only you will come to know through small NCERTs. NCERTs in small classes. Abiotic, the world of non-living elements, that is abiotic. For example, they have given land. Biotic means it can be microorganisms, it can be plants, animals, everything are biotic, which is living, which is non-living is abiotic. So environment comprises of, again you can make a small beautiful formula like this: environment is equal to all that surrounds us. That should be here. And what is that all? All includes both biotic and abiotic plus natural plus man-made. This way you have to make a diagram, and this will help you in fast revision of the notes. Okay. Instead of reading the statement, you can go through this. Then come to this particular natural environment, and I told you how to know the lithosphere, all these things. So then first they have given what is lithosphere. The lithosphere is the solid crust of the layer of earth. Okay, this much is, you have to know what that word means. So that means it includes all that. See this, the rocks, minerals, and even the layer of soil, all these are called as lithosphere only. So this lithosphere is mainly responsible for various landforms which we are seeing now, starting from mountains, plateaus, plains, all are called as lithosphere. And this we can see that, see this, that's this only I told you. This is this diagram, so you can take care of. This is called biosphere, where everything interacts and come into contact. So then hydrosphere. Hydrosphere means it refers to the domain of water. That is called hydrosphere. So water can be present in any format. No, it can be in the form of rivers, lakes, ocean, even glaciers, ice. Okay, so cryosphere. It is called cryosphere and all. Same way atmosphere. Atmosphere is a thin layer of air that surrounds the earth. So what is how the air is floating over this in all classes we would have studied. But once we grow up, you definitely forget about it. So don't miss this part. The gravitational force of the earth holds the atmosphere around it. And this is very important. It's acting like a blanket around us. So protecting us from the. So this consists of number of gases, dust. See this, what we have written as a formula is here. Gases, dust and water vapor. And the changes in the atmosphere produce changes in the weather and climate. Then comes the biosphere. All the living world called as a biosphere. It's a zone, it's a narrow zone where the land, water and air interact to support the life. Okay, that is called biosphere. This way you have to read. And then there is small box, if you notice here, called ecosystem. In this book, in this chapter, they have not introduced ecosystem for you, but they have given a small definition for ecosystem. So it is something, they said, a system formed by the interaction of all living organisms with each other and with the environment. Okay, so that is, so you can make a formula now for ecosystem. Ecosystem means it includes all living organisms, okay, and their environment. Simple term, and their environment. That means the living organisms will interact with one another and also interact with the environment. Okay, so they will interact with the among themselves and with the environment. That we call as ecosystem. And here have given a description about an ecosystem, like like a story they will be giving. You need not read all these things, it's not necessary. Then we will go to the, see this, in this, the relation between the living organisms as well as the relation between the organism and their surroundings. What we have seen in the box, they have given here. It is called as ecosystem. Now we will go to the last part of this particular topic. This and all is not required. So we will move to the next chapter. That is the 6th chapter of the 7th class NCERT. Here what and all we can get. So that's it. Okay, so you have to make short notes. Then we will move to the next one. See this. Here some stories which they have given. Now they have described about Amazon river basin, and it lies properly in the tropical zone. The Amazon basin is lying in the tropical zone. You need not study about the Amazon basin. Okay, it's not required to go depth, but you have to know certain conditions which are prevailing in the Amazon basin, which can help you to answer the tropical zone questions. So if you see something, you can note that because this is lying in the 10° north to 10° south, and it's very close to equator, this places. So that is why it is lying in the equatorial region, right? So what type of climate is prevailing here? That and all is necessary. This and all you can cross, just cross. You need not know about what are the rivers which are flowing, how where the mouth is. This and all is required. Tributaries of the river not required. Then see, this climate can be helpful for you in this case. You can say that since it is in the equator, it is characterized by hot and wet climate throughout the year. Now this way only they are describing. No, when you go to the question paper in the UP, they are describing certain conditions and they are asking what it is. Then either it is equatorial forest, either it's a deciduous forest, or like this. Although there in the higher classes, you are going to see forest as a separate topic, still you can learn something from this climate part of the Amazon because it is located in the equatorial region. So it is characterized by hot and wet throughout the year, climate throughout the year. Both day and nights are almost equally hot and humid only. So this line you have to note, hot and humid. When you go to equatorial area, this two is the character of equatorial area, hot and humid. Okay, so it rains almost every day plus rainfall throughout the year you will get. Okay, and day temperatures are very high with very high humidity, and even the night temperature goes down but the humidity remains high. So temperature can vary, there will be variation of temperature, but humidity always remains high only. This statement you will never find anywhere. So in this particular part only you are finding this. So properly the equatorial zone, humidity will always be high, but temperature, if you see, there will be variation of temperature. Hot during daytime, lesser hot during nighttime. It will be hot, but less comparative to the daytime. But humidity is always high only. There may be a possibility in the future they may give a statement like this. Humidity always remains high. You may think, oh, no, how is it possible? Because nighttime the temperatures are low compared to the time, so humidity will not be. No, it is not the case, especially with related to the equatorial forest, and rainfall will be throughout the year. Then you can skip all these things. This is not required, but you can come to our part because this is Amazon. Okay, so we need not go very depth. In depth we can need not study. And as you can see this, there was one mistake I was also notifying here. I just read when I was reading this, I found some mistake. Let me check. If it is there, I will ask you to correct it. See this. They said there is a statement like orchids and bromeliads. Although you don't read inside, it's not required, but some points can help you. As I said, it heavily in the region. This we already know. The thick forest will be growing. That is called as rainforest. It is called as rainforest, or it is called as equatorial forest. Very often, question related to this will appear in your exams. Even last year there was a question. Okay, or it is also called as evergreen forest. Any name they will be giving, evergreen forest. If you see this, the forest of very thick with a dense roof created by leaves like layer, canopy layer, they will appear. Okay, and the sunlight do not reach the ground. This you have to know. Mostly, this is the character throughout all the rainforest. You will have this character only, not only in Amazon. So that's why we are seeing this. It rains heavily, and there is a dense roof created by the leaves, and sunlight will not reach the ground. Okay, see this. Arches, bromeliads, and grosses plant parasites. It is wrong. It is not a plant parasite. They are not parasites. Sometimes mistake also in NCERT. We have to correct it. So orchids and bromeliads are epiphytes. What are epiphytes? Epiphytes are a plant which grows on other plant. Since they are very small, they cannot be on the floor. They require sunlight for preparing their food. We said that sunlight will not reach the ground. So what they will do? They will reach the top. Plant will reach the top. So they are very forward looking plant. What they will do? They will go and attach themselves on the other trees, because we told rainforest is having a gigantic tree. So the epiphytes will be found everywhere. This is an epiphyte. So the epiphyte will stick to the tree and they will access to the sunlight only. They will not suck any nutrients or nourishment from the tree. So it is not a parasite. Okay, so you have to correct this statement. If you are having the book, correct it. Other than that, if you see mostly most of the animals, if you're seeing like smaller except smaller animals, all are arboreal in character. That means they are living on the trees. Those types of animals will present, but we cannot say reptiles are absent in the rainforest. Reptiles are also present. Amphibians are also present. So most of all, you will see snakes. Okay, even frogs varieties, insects are also. Okay, apart from that, beautiful birds, the very, bright plumage, bright colored plumages you can see there. Also, animals, mostly monkeys, langurs you will find in the rainforest, right? So then, this will come to this and all not required. We'll skip these parts. So generally we took into that Amazon, especially for the rainforest character only. Come to Ganga Brahmaputra. This is our India. We have to know about this Ganga Brahmaputra basin. It's not the river we are going to see. We are going to see the basin. lying in the subtropical region. So now we are going to read the character of a subtropical region, how the subtropical region will be, how it looks like, what are the characters it is having. Okay, that we are going to see. So this we reading for geography, not for environment. It is not required. Now we go to the down. Niche, subse niche. You can see here this. You can see that this and all you can read for geography. Don't read it. Come to the, yes, I told subse niche, no? So come down, 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 down. Here, you can see that some tree varieties you can note and keep that what types of trees are growing here in particular basins. From here we'll start that the vegetation cover, in the Ganga Brahmaputra plain, mostly it is tropical deciduous trees will grow. Okay, in the trees also, last before year there was a question related to moringa. Moringa amaranth, that question appeared maybe 2 years before also. They were saying that this tree is a leguminous deciduous tree. So when you're reading a tree, you have to be very careful. Even I think this year also, but that question was also considered as geography question. So I did not handle when the after prelims paper was, I did not handle the discussion of that particular question. So they were asking like this, that these trees may be a deciduous trees, or it's a evergreen tree, or it's a leguminous deciduous. This way you have to be careful while reading that particular, especially Ganga Brahmaputra basin, which is in the subtropical region. You'll finding most of the tropical deciduous trees only will grow there. Like teak is the major tree, you can see, then sal and peepal tree. So this way, many of the students used to ask me, Madam, what type of trees I have to keep in mind. In higher versions of the book, the one which is available in the market, they are giving lot of trees names. How I will remember everything? Chalo, you remember this. Read this NCERT. It's very simple. Na hi kafi hai. This much that's enough for you. So don't burden yourself with the new tree names, and you cannot remember everything. But suppose something comes in the newspaper, Anna, then you have to give importance for that. Especially a specific tree if there's a discussion. Because WHO was talking about moringa and India is exporting moringa trees. So India becomes a leader in exporting moringa trees. That question appeared in that year. Now every year there is one tree also coming for you, okay, from the environment section. So you have to be careful. Then you can read this NCERT alone. You can rely on NCERT alone to read the trees which are present in the particular area. And if you see that mainly in the subtropical region, trees like teak, sal, peepal will be found. And bamboos also are growing. Okay, then you come to the next thing. Even mangrove forest you will be finding, because the delta area, no, the Ganga and Brahmaputra, where it ends, not Ganga Brahmaputra river, most of the rivers when they are ending, there is something called as estuaries get formed. Estuaries. So you have to be careful. That's why I told every word is important in the NCERT. You know how to relate it and study. So estuaries will be formed. And what is the major character of a estuary? You can find a unique ecosystem there called as mangroves. There are separate kind of trees, as we would be studying in the future classes, how the mangroves look like. What are the characters of mangroves? Even in our higher version of classes, we would have dealt. Okay, so that's why they have said, apart from the deciduous trees, you will also mangrove forest here in this particular part. Okay, and even in the parts of Uttarakhand and Sikkim, okay, and even Arunachal Pradesh, you will be finding coniferous trees because it is mountainous area. So you will find coniferous trees like specifically the pine, deodar tree. They will say it makes a good fragrance. Then free will be found. That's it. This much is enough to do here, and come to the animals. See how you have to read an animal. It's better when you are seeing a specific name or repeatedly of that animal in the NCERT books. Make a small note about them. For example, I'll give few examples for you. So when we are reading this particular basin of Ganga Brahmaputra, we cannot avoid one rhino which is there. Okay, apart from the tigers, the Royal Bengal tiger is there, deers, monkey varieties, lot of monkey varieties, elephants. Throughout our country, we can see the elephants. But one-horned rhino, if you see, they are present in India, Nepal, and Bhutan. Okay, Chit National Park of Nepal and Royal Manas National Park of Bhutan, you would have seen them. But in India, found in Assam, West Bengal, and UP. Okay, so that like Pabitora Wildlife Sanctuary, Gorumara, Jaldapara of Vissal National Parks, and even Dudhwa National Park, UP. This way you have to make it. One time they asked a question related to one horn rhino, and they are classified. You know, when you are making a note about this particular animal, you should know the IUCN status. Don't go and read all the animals list around 5 pages, which is given in the market. You know, in any book, they have given 5 pages. They would have given related to endangered, critically endangered category. But don't do everything. You have to do what is present in NCERT, along with that, whatever comes in the newspaper. That much is enough. You are not satisfied. Only newspaper, how ma'am, only 3 animals is coming. 4 animals they are giving in the newspaper. How come I will face the exam with this? If you have that feeling, just read the NCERT, make a note about that animal which is given here. So the one horn rhino, the classification under IUCN, they are vulnerable status. No, you have to know what is the status of them in under and what is their status related to Wildlife Protection Act. Whether they are in Schedule 1 or Schedule 2 or Schedule 3 or Schedule 4. Only 4 schedules. So you have to know that. Then even CMS, the conventional migratory species, whether they are there, what schedule they have been put under, sites, what schedule they are there. Okay, apart from that, nowadays they are asking, giving a question in such a format that starting from elephant, if you go 4 years before or 3 years before this question has come, and even rhino question was long back asked like this. This rhino, they are mostly, they will be, when you are reading an animal, you have to know where they will live, what kind of habitation they like. If you take rhino, he will live in a forest also, but he prefer grasslands and he prefer, salt, the mineral lick area nearby the wetlands and all. You will find this animal. Okay, so wherever that is a delicious food for him, so it will be found there. So you have to write and whether they will be living alone, solitary, or they live in group. This and all you have to know. And diurnal or nocturnal character, whether they are active during daytime or they are active during the night time. So this way, when you read animal, because questions are appearing in that pattern only. So you have to know about the animal in this character. What is the uniqueness about that animal? That the horn which is present. Anna? So with that only they will try to uproot the roots and all. And whether they eat only vegetables, that is herbivorous in character, or they are carnivorous. So this much you have to prepare. This is the 360-degree view of an animal. Whether there is any project in his name. This Rhino project was started. 2005 they started it. Again they have reached a Rhino project and Rhino vision is there. So this way you have to make notes with the help of NCERT. Then not only that, you can come to the Bengal tiger. Bengal tiger, see this word. Then you have to know about tiger a bit. So how he is, the tiger census, this and all is extra notes you can make arrangement regarding to tiger. Project Tiger started in 1973, and what happened after that? It got converted to the statutory authority, National Tiger Conservation Authority, around 2006. So, like, which act is supporting it? This way, a bit information you can prepare, and then come to crocodiles. When you are talking about crocodiles or crocodiles, anyway you can pronounce it. So, there are 3 types of crocodiles which are present in India, especially the Chambal river, a Chambal sanctuary, which where Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and UP, the bordering area of these 3 states, you can find the Chambal sanctuary, and there the mugger, the 3 kinds of crocodiles. When you are seeing this, that's how you have to prepare notes. Crocodiles means mugger is there, okay. Then salt water, this is swamp crocodile, okay. Then salt water crocodile is there in India, and third is the gharial, the fish eating crocodile. This is found in the Ganga Brahmaputra basin, especially they are living in the Ganga Brahmaputra and Karnapoli river, and Sangu rivers. You will find this person. But saltwater crocodiles, Andaman and Nicobar, you can find them. Apart from that, nearby the coastal areas they will reside. But mugger is found in the Chambal rivers. You can find mugger, and also the Bitterganika. Here and all you can find the mugger crocodiles, as well as the swampy area, especially the mangroves are present there and all. You can find mugger. Salt water present apart from Andaman and Nicobar or nearby some coastal areas. It's also found in the Odisha, Bitterganika. You can find them. This way you have to put some information. So every minute information will help you in some way or the other. And then you can come to this area, see this. Only this term is introduced here. Terraces or terrace cultivation, we say. Terraces are built on the steep slopes to create flat surface on which crops are grown and the slope is removed so the water does not run off rapidly. This is called terrace cultivation. You can see this. This is related to agriculture, conservation of soil. Agriculture, you can put this, or related to conservation of soil also, terrace cultivation will be considered. So, a small boxes and information you have to read. And another important information related to the Ganga, I told you, the gharial is the crocodile which is present. Then there is some another beautiful organism called as the Gangetic dolphin. Okay, he is a Gangetic dolphin. Locally, he is called a susu, and there is some uniqueness in him. Even it is indicated here. You can see that this particular dolphin cannot see. I think it is not mentioned properly, but they cannot see. So there is a lack of some lens in his eyes. Then he used ultrasonic waves to detect his prey. It is completely fish eating. But what happened? Because of the pollution load, the chemicals and all the pollutions which are there in the Ganga, which is dumped up in the Ganga, this is not able to predict its prey, and because of that it is dying. Okay, so this way you have to read, and even in the last part when you come here, come to this part. See this. There is one information for you that yes, the wastewater, this and all just like a story you can read. And Namami Ganga project, Namami Ganga program, it was started in 2014. Okay, this was started in 2014. So this is 10th year. So be careful about Ganga, Namami Ganga project. So when you see a word, if it is, there is no much detail, some notes related to it. Put a stick note. So what is Namami Ganga? Around 2014, this was prepared by the government, and it consists of various, components. Like 8 important components are included in this Namami Ganga project. Or 8 areas, I can say. Start from the riverfront development, sewage treatment, wastewater treatment, and even river surface cleaning, biodiversity, afforestation, Ganga grams. Like this, it consists of 8 components. Today, go like when you're reading this, you know what is Namami Ganga program. Okay, in order to conserve the river, in order to reduce the pollution load in the Ganga Brahmaputra basin, we brought this program in the name of Namami Ganga. Okay, so this is okay. Come to the last. That's it. So this is important. This much is important. And if you're seeing, even if you're seeing some animal in the pictures format, and even if it is not represented inside, just try to make small notes related to that particular person. Okay. So this way you will be able to completely cover the NCERT topics, right? Then now we have completed the 7th NCERT. We are going to our 8th NCERT. We will see what and all we have to see. The 8th, all the topics, all the chapters are not necessary. The topic called land, oil, water, natural vegetation, and wildlife resources. Generally, we thought like we will be discussing this part only. Okay, this part only we are giving concentration, but since we cannot avoid the thing which is here, the land, soil, water, we will also, I told you, additionally we will also see what it is about. Then we will go to the natural vegetation and wildlife resources. So come to, in this particularly, see what you have to read. Okay, this is some stories they have given, and this is about the land, how the topography is there, and land means it includes water and all, the forest areas, deserts. They have given certain ideas for you. Come to the land use. Land use, you can note particular term called as community property resources. Okay, so what is community property resources? You just should know what is community property resource. So land, no, we are classifying it based ownership, like private land or community land. We are saying like that. Private land is owned by an individual, no. Whereas community land, government land is owned by government, but community land is owned by the community. This is a problem. Like mainly now, the community land is encroached in India. Okay, which belongs to the entire community is encroached for various usages. Okay, like for fodder, roots, everything. They are encroaching it. Even they are completely eradicating the land itself. Nowadays, we cannot find the community land. When you go, in the record it is there, community land. But when you go there, find apartments or something, or some other purpose they are using, agriculture they are using. This way, this is called as community property resource. Okay, this much is enough. And this and all is, generally what we are going to see in the future classes. They have given in the very basic form, like, how land is misused, how the land is used for, deviated for different purposes. The land that we call as land use pattern. As you can see that the changes in the land use pattern, because like and it leads to this changes in land use pattern leads to land degradation, landslide, soil erosion, desertification, etc. Okay, mainly that land use is for agriculture and construction activities. We are changing the land, that is called land use, a change in land use pattern. We say we are changing the land and converting it into for agricultural use or for construction activity. Because of this, what are the problems we are facing? Land degradations, landslides, soil erosion, desertification. This particular statement is important. You can note and read that. Okay, then we'll go to the next section. How we are going to conserve the land resources, they have given. It's a small paragraph, not much to learn from here. So they have said that, since we know that the growing population is keep on growing and the demand for land is keep on increasing. So encroachment is happening. Forest cover, forest area is also encroached. Even the barren land is encroached. Wetland is encroached. So like this, we keep on poaching resources. So if this continues, then what happens? We will not have a free land to live on. There's some land for cultivation. There should be some land for animals to live. But we are taking everything. So we are saying like afforestation, land reclamation, regulated use of chemical pesticides, and pest fertilizers, and checks on overgrazing are some of the common method to conserve the land resources. This way, these lines are important. How we are going to conserve the land resources? By following these methods. Afforestation can be done. So now we are saying very recently also we have started the green wall project, Aravalli green wall project, that focuses that how we can reclaim the degraded land back through forestry intervention. So you have to know. So when you're writing mains, this will support your answers. So this will give you a picture about, even if you go to the higher classes, you'll not find all these words given there. So that will be only present in the lower classes, especially the basic NCERTs like this. And then, I can say that mainly afforestation, okay, land reclamation, this and all you have to know. Then come to the soil, okay, come to the soil. This and all just you can read it. Yes. Generally, just see this line. In geography, you'll be reading complete soil profile. But we should know that the right mix of minerals and the organic matter makes the soil fertile. So mostly when you're studying in geography or environment anywhere, if you see that, there will be a line called as fertility of the soil. Even last year when they were asking for the rainforest, they were talking about the fertility because of the humus content which is present in the soil. So when you're discussing about a soil, you can see this diagram also. There is a diagram, I think it will be here. See this is the factors for soil formation. Although we are not going to see what soil, we should know what and all is deciding the soil property of a particular places, because soil is a major part of the component of environment, where it's a part of lithosphere. So when you are talking about a soil, you should know what all the things which are present in a soil. So soil means it not consists of sand particles. It also consists of the fauna, small microorganisms, decomposers, all will be there in the soil. It will be present in the soil, and the dead matter all will be there in the soil only. So this dead matter is acted upon by the decomposers, and they get converted to humus. So that increases the fertility of the soil. Okay, other than that, these and all like rock color, climate of the particular area, even this is important with respect to us, and this is important with respect to us, with related to soil and relief also. As you go to the altitude and the latitude, it varies. The soil property will vary. Okay, so this you can read. And mainly see this, the top soil only has the humus content, and that is very important for the growth of plant. So that one are also, they have also given here. the mix of minerals and organic matter makes the soil fertile. Okay, this statements you have to concentrate when you're reading that soil. Then come to this area. This is very important. As we saw how we are going to conserve the land, how we are going to conserve the soil, the degradation of soil and conservation measures. In that soil erosion, soil erosion is happening now because rainfall is heavy. It washes down the soil when it is a hilly area. So how will you protect it? How will you protect the degradation of soils in a particular area? So especially the agriculture should be taken. What type of agriculture, what type of cultivation we are going to perform. So that only we are seeing here. Some methods of soil conservation with related to agriculture is given here, like mulching. This and all is important. Okay, the agriculture related environment. When you are studying, this will come. So mulching is a area where you can see that the background is covered with a layer of organic matters like straws, dead leaves. Okay, it goes on. So they will cover even the what we call the coconut tree leaf. No, they will cover the area with that. So it what and all benefit is giving. It helps to maintain the soil moisture. So less water is required for the farm, and it also protects the soil from intensity of sunlight. Okay, so intensity of sunlight, it protects the microbiota. This way, mulching is helpful in various ways. It's farm-friendly or eco-friendly agricultural practice. Mulching is a eco-friendly agricultural practice. Same way, contour barriers. So you can see this you have to read. Contour barriers, like for example, using stones or using some grasses or soils, they are building barriers along the contours. This is contour. This is line. When the hill ends, there is a line. No, so along the contours, they are building some like a wall building with the nature, like stones, grass, everything. So this way they are trying to put barrier for the running from the hill, slow down it. And then rock dam is another method. So rocks are piled up to slow down the flow of water. That is called rock dam. And this way you have to read this and all is important. Again, terrace forming, you can. So terrace forming already we also saw in the 7th NCERT. Same way, broad steppies or terraces are made on the steep slopes and flat surface to grow crops. Okay, this to reduce the surface and soil to protect soil erosion, or to reduce the soil erosion only they are using terrace forming. All these methods are reducing soil erosion, are also sometimes reducing water availability also. Okay, so even intercropping, here this is another method which is eco-friendly practice, where even fertilizers, it acts as biofertilizers, because when they are altering, when they are putting two different crops, one leguminous crop, another normal crop, leguminous crop and normal crop. So the nitrogen content in the soil will be circulated. Okay, so that way it is helpful. And contour ploughing is another method. Parallelly, they are plowing to the hill slope because it acts as a natural barrier for the water to come to the farm. Shelter belts, same way. The coastal, the trees which are planted, this is shelter belt. You can see to check the wind, and this also acts as a carbon capture or carbon sink along with that. Not only protecting soil cover, but also acting as a carbon sink. Okay, so this way you can make notes related to the soil. And same way water. When you're seeing this and all data about water and all 2.7%, this way you can read for your geography. And that's a small thing called water cycle that is not required here. So now we are going to the conservation of water resources. Again, this, as you see, what and all, what are the problems related to water bodies? Overuse, discharging waste and pollutants inside, right? Agricultural chemicals runoff, industrial effluents. This way you have to know just like these words you can underline and read. Pollutions, because there is a topic called pollution for us, no, in our environment section. So these are the major contaminants which are polluting the water bodies. Along with they pollute the water with nitrates, metals, and even pesticides. Okay, and as you can see, most of these chemicals are non-biodegradable, and they reach the human body through water only. They don't degrade. Okay, so that happens bioaccumulation and biomagnification. This you will be seeing elaborately in the higher classes. Right now, how we can avoid this type of problem? By water harvesting methods to save the surface runoff. Okay, even the forest and other vegetation should be protected in such a way that the soil erosion can be also avoided, and surface runoff can also be avoided. Okay, so the underwater can be replenished. This data you will get only in this NCERT. So see, everyone will talk about water harvesting only when you're talking about conservation of water, or to stop pollution of water, or to protect, conserve the water bodies. But water linked with forest. So when forest is maintained, when vegetation is grown, they will bind the soil to the surface. And when water comes, the rainfall comes, the rainfall also gets seep into the underground water, and it replenish the underground water. This is important. Then canals, okay, and even the sprinkler irrigation. This is a sprinkler irrigation, drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation. All these can be used to reduce water losses. This also asked in UPSC exams. They are asking like this: which of the following are considered environment-friendly practices? The irrigation is one option. So you have to be careful while reading it. So the sprinkler irrigation or drip irrigation, you can also use drip irrigation. You can see this drier regions where there is higher evaporation, drip or trickle irrigation is very useful. So this way you have to make notes. When there is very hot temperature, drip irrigation only will do. Then yes, we'll go to the natural vegetation and wildlife of 8th standard. So this, in this, as already we have known about this biosphere, the interaction we call biosphere. Okay, so come to ecosystem definition also we have already seen. Now come to this part. Plants, the benefit given by plants, vegetation. Plants provide us timber, give shelter to animals, they produce oxygen we breathe, they protect the soil. Okay, so these are benefits. So essential for growing crops, and they act as shelter belts and help in storage of underground water, gives us fruits, nuts, latex, turpentine oil, everything. Many are there. Products, we can say, gum, medicinal plants, and also the paper is essential for your studies. Like this, you can note it. Okay, and wildlife includes all these things. Like they are generally saying about the wildlife. It's not a particular wildlife belonging to a particular places, but generally, if you see wildlife means it includes animals, birds, insects, and even aquatic forms are called as wildlife. Okay, so they give milk, meat, hide, wool, etc. And even they provide us with honey, and they help in pollination of flowers, and even pollination was asked as a question in UPSC, and they play a role as decomposers in the ecosystem. Okay, and the birds which feed on insects, see this, this they are not decomposers. At least they can be a scavenger, but they cannot called as a decomposer. They are always called as a carnivores only. This you can correct it. They're not decomposers. Then come to vulture. When you're seeing this kind of statement like vulture, you have to know about Project Vulture. So what is about vulture? What types of vultures are present in India? Vultures are called as what? So they are called as scavengers. They are scavenging the dead meat, and they are cleaning the environment. They're stopping the spread of diseases. This way, you have to know about scavenger, the vulture, and mainly the vultures are dying due to renal failure, kidney failure. Anna, we humans are responsible for that. We are giving certain medicines for the cattle, okay, to act against the what inflammation. Then this medicines like ibuprofen, aspirin, diclofenac, it's similar to that only. Diclofenac is similar to all these things. They are killing the cattle. Sorry, it is present in the cat meat. It is present there because for inflammation, the cattle is given these medicines, and when the cattle dies, the vulture consumes the meat and it affects its kidney, and the vulture also dying because of this. So you have to know what is that vulture conservation project, and all these things, and even the vulture safe zones which has been created. So related to that, you can make small notes. Okay. Yes. Then come to the natural vegetation. Mm, see this. These are the mostly this line you can see the growth of vegetation depends on temperature and moisture. So this decides what kind of vegetation should be present in that particular place. Like for example, forest, grassland, shrubs and tundra. Saying no, in the areas of heavy rainfall, trees will occur. So you can see the forest will appear in that area where there is rainfall. Okay, and as the amount of moisture decrease, the size of trees will keep on decrease, and the density also will keep on decreasing. So they see only short stunted trees and grasses growing here and there, and that makes the grasslands. Woodland, then grasslands. Then thorny shrubs, and shrubs grows in dry areas of very low rainfall. You'll see only shrubs or thorny trees. So in such areas, plant deep roots and leaves with thorny and waxy surface. So these are all important. You have to note, like this is asked in UPSC also, no, adaptation by desert plants. So we are seeing succession. When you're writing this topic, the vegetation, when you're moving from one place to another, you can write in that format. That heavy rainfall is heavy. You can draw something like this. Then you can say forest will be there. And when the rainfall is moderate, you can find a grassland, first woodland, then grassland. Then when there is very less rainfall, there will be desert. So desert, what kind of condition will prevail? Arid and semi-arid areas, they are called desert. As you can see that the plants will have very deep roots and the leaves will have thorn. Instead of leaves, they will, leaves itself will have thorn. Even stems will have thorns instead of leaves or spines, we call this as. And even the leaves has waxy surface, glossy nature. Okay, because to use the loss of moisture through transpiration. This and all you can read only in NCERT books. Tundra vegetation of cold polar region comprises of mosses and lichens. This may come in the question anytime. So because they are describing this only, so they may say tundra means what? The top layer of the Himalayas. There we can find tundra vegetation. So where it is very cold. Okay, so there where the even some areas find the snows covering the surface. So that type of cases, they may say there is absence of mosses and lichens. And you may also think, yes, how mosses and lichens will grow there when there is a very harsh climate, extreme cold, snow present. Definitely they are there in tundra region. So that only this line I have underlined and shown for you. Okay. So yes, right. That's it. Then conservation. With this, with the eighth, we will complete. Okay. So here, if there is anything important, I will mark it for you. This and all just like a statement. You can read it. Just give one time reading. How forest is affected. How the species are becoming vulnerable and endangered. You can see this deforestation, soil erosion, construction activity, forest fire, tsunami, landslide are some of the human natural factor which leads to the extinction of the resources, the landforms as well as the biodiversity. And again, poaching is another important problem. Like this, you can put number and keep 1, 2, 3. When you're writing your mains answer, you can use this there, including forest fire. Okay, forest fire is very important. And then the animals are killed either for trade or for hides, or skins, nails, teeth, everything. Every organ they will remove and they will use separately. And you can see this. This is black buck. Black buck is an antelope. No need to know much detail about him, but you can see whether he is diurnal in character, where and all he is present. Black buck is present where. Okay, so that you can surf and make small note about him, right? And then here they have simply given us a statement: national park, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves are made to protect our natural vegetation and wildlife. They have not given any detail about these national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere reserves. In the later versions of the book, we will come to know about it. Okay, and then I think that's it. It's completed. It's over, no? So with this, we are going to it's going to get over. So they are given a small definition for national park. It is for protecting the nature. National park, no, nobody is allowed inside a national park. No activities except the one which is allowed by chief wildlife warden will decide what type of activities will be allowed in. And see this awareness programs like social forestry and Vana Mahotsav. Now, social forestry only recently questions are frequently coming. Social forestry is divided into urban forestry, okay, then rural forestry and farm forestry, like this we can say. Especially the rural forestry, here questions are coming often. Sorry, urban forestry, like Miyawaki forest, tree cities of the world, all are coming under the urban forestry only. Vana Mahotsav is a tree festival. This first week of July only we used to celebrate tree festival. It is okay. So related to environment. This and all is awareness program. And apart from that, you can see the international conventions like CITES has been established several species of animals and birds in which trade is prohibited. So elaborately, if you want to see CITES, CITES is a body which has been came into force in 1975. It came into force, but see this. I hope we'll stop here. The last page only we'll take tomorrow, and then we'll continue with ninth NCERT. As I thought I'll complete ninth, but it's not able. We'll carry forward tomorrow. We'll start from ninth, then we'll continue the discussion. Okay. So thank you. We'll meet again. Good night.